I think we played, I forget the name. They were the Jaguars though. St. Jude, yeah, the St. Jude Jaguars. We cruised through that game, and we were scheduled to play Hillcrest Christian, the only team we lost to in that season. And we're stoked up. We've been preparing for this game, and it comes, and the world shuts down, right? We're not able to play our championship game we worked so hard for. And this marks the moment where I start going into that fast lane, into that negative spiral. And it was all gradual. Like, I didn't realize I was going down that lane until there was one like pinnacle point, which I'll get to. So, man, this was, as soon as COVID started, 6th grade when we had 2 weeks off. We were happy about it. We thought we were gonna get back to life to normal real quick. 2 weeks turned to 4, 4 weeks turned to 6, and then we were online school for the whole rest of the year, right? And this was my day, I kid you not. I woke up early to get breakfast and to get on Fortnite before school started. And I would grind out Fortnite and my tears and all my wins. And then school started. I had 2 monitors. So on one side I had my Zoom class, my Google Meets, and then the other side I had the game. And I was playing on my controller on the other side. And no one knew this. I was just minding my own business. I was getting good grades, so I didn't think it really mattered. But it did matter because this was cool. I was building bad habits I didn't realize. After school was over, I went down, ate again, played more games, and I ended the night watching YouTube on how, guess who I was watching? I was watching Cypher PK, learning how to get higher Fortnite tiers. That was my grind, yeah. And there was a point in my life, I kid you not, where I wanted to be a pro Fortnite gamer just like Ninja. I was playing Cash Cup Trios with Naeem and Saeed and Ryan Rosassin. We were playing FNCS, and we were pretty good. So we thought we had a chance. 6th grade comes and goes. I'm building bad habits that turn into my identity, and I'm drifting into that fast lane, that bad lane. 7th grade comes. We've got these things on called masks. We've got to hide behind them, and you could tell the habits I had based off how I interacted with people. You could tell I was not doing productive things that are gonna build my confidence, push me, and build my foundation for my high school years. 7th grade comes and goes. In 8th grade, the first year, or the year that sports came back, was my 8th grade year. We played football. Football came and went. We lost in the championship. I know. But here comes basketball, my main sport, my favorite sport, and we're ready to play. We're ready to compete. We're gonna win the championship this year. This is our comeback year. And November 14th, 2022, at Alex Alapoku's house, I take a step back 3, and my knee buckles, and I hear a pop, and I tear up my knee completely. It was a bucket handle meniscus tear. The meniscus was caught in my joint. That's not what this is about, though. But that is the turning point that marked the lowest point in my mental health. That was a point where I could tell I just nosedived into the deep end in a negative way. And I entered high school without a good foundation. And I remember the upperclassmen that year were not the greatest examples. I remember specific examples in practices where a kid came up and tore one of our teammates' shirt or jerseys off their back. Punches were being thrown. I remember in hall, I was minding my own business, a little freshman walking through the halls, and I see a punch just thrown. Like, whoa. And there was drug use, there was expulsions, there was all of these things that was not beneficial to our little kid who idolize these upperclassmen. They're so cool. They drive cool cars. They listen to cool music. They attract a bunch of kids from other schools at tournaments. And I thought they were cool, and I looked up to them. But God planted that seed in me and said, I don't want to be like these people. I don't want to be like these people. I want to change. I don't want to be upperclassman that does all those bad things. But I didn't know how to get there. That was my problem. I wanted to be a change, but I didn't know how to get there because I didn't have a good foundation. I wasn't strong in what I believed in. God gave me clarity, right? I didn't want to be like those upperclassmen. The first step I took, I kid you not, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, I'm gonna sign up for a gym. I'm gonna sign up for a gym. I like exercising, so I remember my brother, my dad, we went online, we signed up for Fitness 19 in Moore Park. That was my first step. And before I knew it, that decision gave me so much momentum into becoming the person I am today. So if you take anything away from this talk, it's to sign up for a gym membership. I'm just kidding. It was really beneficial. So I began to research how to gain the most amount of muscle, right? I remember going up on YouTube, looking at how can a 15-year-old high schooler gain the most amount of muscle in this amount of time, right? And it spit out a bunch of answers, right? You got your push-pull split, you got your Arnold split, you got your bro split, and I tried them all. And I started seeing results. I'm like, wow, I kind of like this. I'm going to keep going. And inevitably, I was searching up on YouTube. You know how the algorithm spits out things you think you're going to like. So I come across, you guys know Maxwell Rowe. He spoke a couple weeks ago. I see his video on dopamine detoxification. This guy's also 15. I'm like, what the heck? What? Where did this come from? When did he start making videos? So I click on this video. And it's about the importance of delaying your gratification, getting rid of all of instant gratification, like social media, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna delete social media, which meant getting rid of my Snapchat streaks, which meant getting rid of or staying up to date on any memes and TikTok and all that stuff, but I deleted it. And it was hard at first. The first couple weeks, there was a lot of resistance, and I didn't want to do it. But I remember, like, if I can do it, I can do it. I'm just going to keep going. And I got over that hump, and the resistance just faded away and became habit. And this completely shifted the direction I was headed, right? The gym got me that first step, and this, like, full 180 turn. This decision was a full 180 turn. I felt it. And so I went, and God was working through self-improvement to shape me into who I am today. I didn't realize it. This is how he was bringing me from that kid, the little freshman, a little 8th grader who was at the lowest point in his life. He was shifting me and pulling me in the other direction because he had a purpose for me that was so much greater than getting to level 300 in Fortnite. So I went all in, right? After I deleted all my Instagram, my social media, all that stuff, I went all in. Cold showers every single day, meditated for 10, 15, 20 minutes every single day, waking up at 5 a.m. to work out before and after school, reading every day, journaling every morning and night, direct sunlight first thing in the morning to get the circadian rhythm going, all that better sleep at night, I shut off my phone an hour before bed and not grab it for an hour after I woke up. Like full 100%. All this stuff I was consistent with, and it showed. I started my own YouTube channel. Its goal was to push others to be the best versions of their selves, just as I was pursuing the best version of myself. And the desire has not stopped to this day. To this day, I'm still pushing others. I try to push others. I see the potential of so many people, and I want to bring that out. God put me through that rough patch to use me for good. He planted that seed in me, so then I can now plant seeds in other people. To create a positive impact in the way that God would see fit. So when I'm asked the question, what advice would you give to incoming high schoolers? Or this can also relate to seniors going into college. Even though if one of my peers asked me this, I would answer the exact same way. And it is, know who you are. Have strong fundamental values so that when life shakes you, through trials, bad influences, or peer pressure, you'll stand strong knowing who you are. So this all sounds good, right? But how do you know who you are? How do you shape those fundamental values that will keep you in that straight path? So this is the most practical advice I can give. Pick someone to view and to emulate. For example, let's say I want to be like my mom, I want to be like Jesus Christ, and I want to be like Kobe Bryant. Those are my 3 people that I want to take pieces of how they live and implement it into my life, to my fundamental values. Jesus Christ knows how to love. I want to love like Jesus Christ. How does he love? I read into how he loves. I view how he loves. I read my word. I listen to music. Kobe Bryant has an amazing work ethic. I'm going to steal that from Kobe Bryant. I'm going to work harder than anybody. And my mom, she's caring, I'm gonna care like my mom. These are ways to know who you are with those fundamental beliefs. Once you know who you are, little freshman Tim wanted to create a change in the community, but he didn't know how. And now I'm standing here today so I can teach you guys how to create that change. First thing is to submerge yourself in truth. First step to creating real change is to surround yourself with truth, know what's right, what's real, and what you believe in. Without that foundation, it's easy to lose focus or be influenced by negativity. Second, identify the biggest change you want to see. I wanted to see better influence coming from the top, from the upperclassmen. What's one thing you wish is different in your community, your school, your friend group? Change start with being aware of what you want differently. When you see something that doesn't sit right with you, that's your sign to step up and to take action. You can't be complacent, because then that change will happen. You go be that change. You go be that difference. Which is the next thing, be the difference, the change you want to see. From Gandhi. Don't wait for someone else to fix things, set the example, lead with action, not words. The most powerful leadership model is to lead by action. Your mouth shut and just do it, people will follow. Stay open, stay humble, and never stop learning. That's the next thing, have a growth mindset. I live by the philosophy that you can learn absolutely anything from absolutely anyone. I can learn something from Tyler right here. I can learn something from Glenn. I can learn something from Nate. I can learn something from a 3-year-old kid. I can learn something from a 99-year-old wise man. This is my philosophy. This is how I keep my edge, to keep and continue to improve the community for change. Is always have a growth mindset. There's always something to improve. So, as I conclude, there's so much negativity in this world, right? It's obvious. Anywhere you look, you're gonna see something that might not sit right with you. We have to take that responsibility for being the change we want to see. For me, that meant becoming the kind of person younger Tim would be proud of. Someone always striving for better and for more. And if you're stuck in that fast lane, just like I was, going 95 miles an hour, sit back, take a little bit to meditate on God's word, on where he's calling you, and be aware when he's tapping you on that shoulder, urging you to turn that blinker on and to get over into that slow, boring, but purposeful lane, heading you into a new direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. So I'm doing gym memberships. It's free at Planet Fitness during the summer for teens, so, but you don't gotta wait till then. It's only like $10, something like that. But anyways, we are now moving into our small groups. So if you don't know how that works, everybody has a name tag on, and you go find your color leader, and we will meet back here. Try and meet back here, small group leaders, about 7:55. That's 22 minutes, so it should be plenty of time. All right.